everyone, it's your friend Thinknoodles, and welcome to Ask Think episode number 135 for Monday, January 5th, 2014, guys, and the first Ask Think of 2015, of course, because the last one was the last Ask Think of 2014. You guys liked the little pause I stuck in there on the last one just to trick you a little bit. But last week I asked you guys what your New Year's resolution was, and some people didn't know what that is, and that could be because it's not something that you do in your country. But that's okay. A lot of people understood it, and we're going to start with Vincent Miara, whose New Year's resolution is to not get grounded. Now that's a good one, except are you going to try and just still do mischievous things? Or mischievous? I don't know. It depends. Sometimes I say it one way and sometimes I say it the other. But does that mean you're going to be doing those things and trying better not to get caught? Or you're going to be good and not end up on a Santa's naughty list next year? Sugar Candy Canes says, my New Year's resolution is trying to control myself from going on the computer too much because I go on my laptop nearly 24/7 because it's the holidays. And I saw this quite a bit with people saying they go on their computers and their tablets too much. So their New Year's resolution is to kind of limit that a little bit. Rose F said her noodle year resolution is to eat more noodles. Mr. Sandman98 said his resolution is to lose 15 kilograms, get a better average or get a really, really high average in school because it's his last year, and then coming to New York and stalking me and kidnapping Kopi and making me pay him to get her back. Usual stuff, nothing weird. Huh. Gracie Clark said her New Year's resolution is to get 5 stars in all the songs of Just Dance 2015. Must finish. So at least she's got, that's more of a goal, but a good goal and an achievable goal, I guess. Jakin70 is his New Year's resolution is that he's going to survive the new year, which is always good. Charity Blogs TV said their New Year's resolution is to start a rainbow underwear and sock collection, because come on, who doesn't want rainbow matching underwear and socks? Michaela Bliss also had the getting off electronics getting off electronics, not focusing on impressing her friends, and then spending more time with her family. Those are great resolutions, although to her, it's a revolution. Lexi Music's New Year's resolution is to stop procrastinating on schoolwork. She gets it done, but sometimes has to stay up pretty late to finish, and that's my problem. It's not schoolwork, but my work. Yes, I procrastinate. Wookie54321 said their New Year's resolution is to start getting off the computer and becoming a little more active. Not because he's not active, it's just that he wants to do it because, well, why not? CC Katie says her New Year's resolution is to be a more positive person because they can be very negative and they want to change that. That is awesome. And Sunny Zang is very similar that I think I said Zang, but Sunny Zang's New Year's resolution is to be more open-hearted and to accept the things they think negatively of themselves, help others, and take everything in a positive way, which is a great way to live your life. Totally said that their New Year's resolution is to eat more chicken because you don't eat it a lot. And the chickens are lonely. I'm just going to put this out there, but if you eat the chickens, wouldn't the chickens that you haven't eaten get even more lonely? I don't know if I understand your logic there. Yoon Kang's resolution for 2015 is to eat, sleep, poop, repeat. And people loved that. And someone actually made it they didn't make it a song, but they just said you could kind of sing it over and over again, like eat, sleep, poop, and repeat. Eat, sleep, poop, and repeat. And it kind of becomes like a song. Although I think you should put wake up in there because pooping in your sleep is really, really not something you should do. Overpowered Whale says their resolution is to stop eating chocolate. He eats too much chocolate. And Sky says their New Year's resolution is to watch TV more often, eat more junk food, sleep in more often, and stuff themselves with chocolate more often. So apparently they didn't do enough bad stuff last year, so they really want to make up for it this year. Epic Dragon Warriors New Year's resolution is to, oh, I know, I'll stop flushing the toilet like a song, because sometimes I flush it like 6 times to make a song, like flush, blah, 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 flush the flush, boom. Now, I get the flush, ba, 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 flush, flush, flush. I don't know about the boom at the end. That could be a problem with the plumbing. And Nerdbird took it away with this one. I read it and I was like, wait, what? And I was like, oh, his New Year's resolution is 1080p and he'll go 4K next year. And if you guys don't quite get it, because it took me a while, it's the resolution of a monitor or a screen or a YouTube video, whatever. So for me, my New Year's resolutions, I even set it on my my Happy Noodle Year video, is to, one, learn to manage my time better and to get back into shape. So next week's question comes to us from Alana David, and it's a good one. It says, if you were to see an endangered animal or an extinct animal in the past, what would it be and why? And of course, Novicat added that I'm already a dinosaur, but but seriously, yeah, if you could find an endangered animal, or if you could see one or an extinct animal from the past, what would it be and why? And I hope, I'm expecting to get a lot of different answers all over the map. Now, before we get to the questions for me, don't forget to leave your question in the comments below so I can have something to answer next week. Remember, only one question per comment, but you can leave as many comments as you like. Also, if the comments on this Ask Think are closed, go to the most recent Ask Think and ask your question there. Now, the first question comes to us from Marley53113 on CP, and it's, what is your favorite year for your channel so far? That's easy. Last year. 2014 was by far the most exciting for me and my channel, and I hope for all of you guys as well. I mean, I really feel like I've stepped it up huge in 2014 with my content quality. Cool Dude 233 asks, what do you prefer to call New York City, New York or Manhattan? Well, actually neither. People from the area and people who live here call it the city. And when you say the city, everybody knows that you're talking about Manhattan. Honeybunny324 asks, have you ever gotten jellies about how many subs Stampy, iBallistic, Squid, or DanTDM and other YouTubers have? No, not at all. I mean, I'd be lying if I said, oh, but you know, I don't care if I don't have that many subscribers. Of course, I would love to have as many subscribers as they do, but I don't yet, and that's okay. They've worked very hard to get where they are, and they deserve all the subscribers and attention that they have, and one day I'll be at that level. The Mini Mike High Zero asks, why did you make the wrong Thinknoodles channel? And this has been asked before, and I haven't answered in a long time. For some of you guys, you may not even realize that my channel started out as the Insiders Network. And so my username was Insiders Network, is actually still Insiders Network here on YouTube, but I'm able to change it using a Google Plus page and things like that to say Thinknoodles, because over time, my channel became about me rather than my websites that I started this for. And so when it became about me and my username, someone grabbed YouTube /user/Thinknoodles. And I had already started this channel anyway, so it didn't matter. But as time went on, that channel was never used. So after I think 2 years of inactivity, I was able to reclaim it through my partner network. So I have that channel. I own that channel. But the thing is, I can't transfer my subscribers to it. So I just use it as a holder so that no one gets a hold of it and maybe impersonates me or does something bad and says it was me or something like that. Voter Pro asks, does your wife ever help you record, for example, being another character like Kobe or Think's wife, or doing the voice of Think's wife? Well, of course, anytime that you hear her voice on her character, it is her. So she helps me in that way. And there has been, I know of at least one Think's Lab where she controlled Kevin. It was the car race one, which is one of my favorites. I needed 2 players to race the cars, and those things are so out of control. I don't even want to talk about that. But yeah, she did help me, and she does help me. Slimming a Ninja says, when I'm on my iPad, I'm not on the YouTube app. I don't see a like button. Do you know where it is? No. I didn't even know that you could watch videos not in the YouTube app, because when I launched them out of Safari, it sort of opens up the YouTube app. There won't ever be a button that says like anymore on any of the apps. It will just be a thumb up. And I honestly don't know where it is. Video Freak says, why do you play on a MacBook? Most famous YouTubers use PCs because they can play more games on Steam and they would be more screen recording and editing options. Well, first of all, I don't record on a MacBook. I'm on an iMac. And I don't do the things that everybody else does. I think you guys know that by now. I do what I want, and I don't follow the crowd ever. So, you know, other people use PCs. Good for them. I like Mac OS. I really, really like the way that, you know, I know that I can't play a lot of the games. Well, I'll get to that. But in Mac OS, I can't play the games, all of the games, like, for example, Sims 4. I can't play it because it's not out for Mac. So that is a bit limiting, but all of the editing software and the recording software that I like to use and that is really good. I mean, Final Cut Pro is only available for Mac, and it's a great editing software. I get that advantage, but I can't play the games. Now, that said, you guys may or may not know, Macs and Apple computers are basically PCs. All of the internal parts are PC parts. You use Intel chips. I have an NVIDIA graphics card. I mean, as far as the hardware, it is actually a PC. It's just in a Mac container. I haven't, but I can install Windows 8 on this and have both running, and I could go and play those games. The thing is, I just don't like Windows, and there hasn't been a game that has been so compelling that I've gone ahead and said, you know what? I'm going to install Windows and I am going to play this game. If that were the case, and also I could play Minecraft on the Windows side, and I think I've tried it before, and I think I got like almost double the frame rate in Windows compared to Mac OS on the same computer. It's crazy, I know, but it does happen. But what I would do, I think I would record it on Windows and then immediately boot to Mac OS so that I could edit it. I'm not going to edit in something like Sony Vegas. Bryce Does Games asks, do you like to eat raw cookie dough? No, I love eating raw cookie dough, although my wife says it's bad for you, or it could be. You could get sick from it, she says. Broscast Gaming says, how do you think of your video series, such as Think Labs and Ask Think? Well, I think what you're asking is, how do I come up with the ideas? And I don't know, it just comes to me. Maybe I'm slightly creative. But the reason that I chose your question was because I was talking about this to my wife yesterday. And because so many times people ask, oh, so what do you do? Are you a doctor too? When I'm out with my wife, and I say, no. I'm the furthest thing from it. I'm a YouTuber. And they're like, okay, what's that? And I say, oh, well, I play video games and commentate while I play, and people like to watch. And then the question, then the next question is, you can earn a living doing that? And I say, yes, you can. And then they say, so what do you do? Because, you know, I said I play video games and people watch me. So they say, oh, you must be really good at it. You teach them how to win, right? And I'm like, no, not really. I just play and people like to watch me play. I'm like, I don't really get it. So my wife was telling me that now when people ask what I do when I'm not there and she answers the question, instead what she says is, oh, well, he makes videos on YouTube or he makes video game. How did she say it? Well, it's something like, he makes videos on YouTube, or he makes entertainment videos on YouTube about video games that are kind of like cartoons. And they're like, oh, like she says there's like this light that goes on in their head, like, oh, I understand why people would watch that, instead of like, wait, why would people, if he's not that good at, if he's not the best at the game, number one or whatever, and he's not teaching them how to win, why on earth would they watch it? So she says, he like makes cartoons out of these videos, and they're like, oh, okay, and they get it. So anyway, I don't know. Think TG says, Think, will you ever do collabs with your fans? Yes, and I have done a few already. The most recent was the Yellow Submarine video, and that's probably what I'll be doing again on the Noodle Planet soon. Firebeats asks, what kind of complimentary breakfast drinks do you and your wife like to drink? Coffee, espresso, cappuccino, etc. And what kind do you like? Unicorn blood, Dunkin' Donuts. My mom loves unicorn blood. Okay, first of all, I like cappuccino and macchiatos. But just a word of advice, don't go around telling people that your mom loves unicorn blood. That just sounds wrong. Apple Pie asks, Think, will you ever take game requests from Noodlers for games you can play in the future? Absolutely. I read your comments all the time, your suggestions on games that you like to play that you think I should play, and I definitely take requests. Icy Spirits also, on the same note, says, Think, I was thinking you should start this thing where we suggest games for you, and once a week you play one of the games someone suggests, and at the end you rate the games. It would be nice to see some new games, not saying Minecraft is bad. Yeah, I do want to mix it up a little bit, and I'm working on my schedule to try and fit in a different game every once in a while. I mean, I have Clash of Clans, so that is a little bit, but I want to add more variety to my channel. Kelly Kawai asks, do you think the editing you do gets harder, easier, or stays the same? It gets harder every time because I learn more advanced techniques. And then when I do that, I try and push myself further to learn more, to do more things, to try things that I've never tried before. And that just makes it get harder and harder. Marley53113 on CB asks, do you ever look back on your old videos and laugh? I don't look back very often, but when I do, I more often cringe at the quality that videos that I used to produce compared to the quality of the videos I produce now. I mean, simply my audio mix, a year and a half ago, my audio mix was overblown. You can hear it. It's awful when I go back and listen. And I'm like, not even. And I mean, I would say that's been less than a year even that that I had such a poor audio mix. I've come a long way in the last year or so, really, I think anyway, in my production quality and my content quality. And so when I go back and I look and I'm just like, oh, that is really, there are a lot of videos that I put out and I would never, nowadays I would say, ooh, I really need to work on that transition there or something like that. And yeah, it's a bit embarrassing. LPS Tatterpatch asks, Dear Mr. Noodles, are you subscribed to anybody on YouTube? If so, who? If not, who are your top 10? I am, and I think I keep my subscriptions quite low because I don't have much time to watch videos. And even with the low subscription count that I have, still hardly ever get to watch any of them. But it's public. If you go onto my About page, I think you can see all of the people I subscribe to. Grim Reaper Gaming asks, Yo, Think, what font do you use for your banner? I would really like to use it. If you mean my YouTube banner, my channel page, that's not a font. That font or text was custom drawn by an artist. Jack Frost Plays MC says, Think, you need to kick yourself out of your clan. You've never given troops. That's entirely not true. And my clanmates will tell you, I mean, I probably request more troops than I donate. But I think like in this current like season or whatever they call it, I think I've donated like 85 and requested like 120 or something like that. So no, I try and keep it balanced and I try to always donate whenever anyone asks. The next couple of people ask if I record the gameplay and then do a voiceover or if I do the game live on Clash of Clans. And For the most part, I do it live. Now, in the video that they're referring to where I was speaking through the time lapse, what I did is I knew that I was going to time lapse those single player campaigns because I knew I was about to win. So I just knew that I was going to be fast forwarding that part. So while I was doing it live, I was talking, and then I said, okay, I'm going to fast forward now. And then I knew that at that point is I would fast forward it at whatever speed it needed to be in editing and then just continue going. Metal Fight 64 asks, you know how when you watch Things Lab episodes, random minion requests are everywhere, like people commenting their minion on a 2-month-old video, maybe at the end of each episode, etc. Maybe you should tell them to make their minion request on the most recent Things Lab so you can read their comment. That's a great idea. I don't know why I've never thought of that, but I'm doing that in the next episode. Toku76 says, I was wondering if you're going to collect all the chests and materials you have left all over the Noodle planet and sort them into the storage room before you release the next world download. Doesn't it kind of defeat the purpose of the storage room if you're not using it to its full potential? I bet you a Noodle Bowl that you end up with more stuff than you remember collecting. Oh, it's everywhere. There's no way I could collect all the chests and materials that I've left everywhere. I'll set up some chests, start construction, and then when I'm done, I just walk away and leave the chests. I don't even think about them. But, it kind of defeats the purpose, but also not. Everything's nice and organized. But man, all of those item frames. I wish there was a way that I could label the chests that looks nice, but also doesn't create all those item frames and all the lag. And the map room and all that. But anyway, Mickey, a 2000 MK asks, is it a mod on Things Lab that when the blocks you drop fall and stick to the ground? Also, if it is, can you please give us a link to the download? The name of the mod, and you can just search it in Google, just do item physics Minecraft. And that's the name of the mod. And that is what makes it like flip out of your hand and land flat on the ground. Jude Baker asks, what do you think when you look at Dave, Kevin, Kofi, Juliet, or a minion on Things Lab? Wouldn't you think of talking to a computer, and do you make the sounds take effect while you're walking, talking to a minion? It's funny. When I do look at them, I see the character. It's weird, but I see the character. And I see the personality in them, and it's really strange, but I do. And when I'm recording it, though, they do not talk back. So the sounds that they make and the laughs and everything come after. So I'm kind of, talking to a computer and kind of imagining a response. Alyssa Ekwan asks, do you get all the Things Lab ideas from the suggestions, or you plan them yourself? Most of the time I plan them myself. But if I ever take a suggestion or get an idea from one of your comments, I always put it at the end. Green Tea Poetry asks, why don't you have guest players on Things Lab? Well, the thing is, and at times it would be helpful, but it's really, really, really hard to coordinate things with other people. With creative editing and camera shots and angles and things like that, having other guest players would mess up those shots. Jake J asks, is Think's wife a mob like the minions, or is she a real user like you? Well, she's a little bit of both. She has, been in some episodes, but a lot of times I use her as a custom NPC, or sometimes I'll make myself the custom NPC and I'll play as her. But yeah, it is a real account. Michelle Perez asks, how do you get those cool camera angles in Things Lab? There's two ways. One is the camera studio mod, which I use quite a bit. And that's especially if I've got a camera moving toward or away or kind of sweeping as I run by. That is definitely custom camera studio mod. Why was I saying custom NPCs? I have no idea. But other times what I'll do is it'll be a secondary window with a second account in LAN multiplayer. Novacat asks, I've noticed your Things Lab episodes are starting to take longer and longer to make. So do you plan to do anything about it, like making it only once a week or cutting down on the editing? No. I wish but no. I'm not going to cut back and only do it once a week or anything like that. I just have to get more efficient. Abscess7 AJ says, in the Thinks Lab episode with Prince Albert, there was a floating diamond block. How did you do that? Well, that was just me reacting to something that I saw, and I knew exactly what it was, but I played it off as if I didn't. So in that episode, one of the huge problems, and I had to re-record that scene a million times. Well, not a million, but at least 10. The thing about the Ultimate King is the Ultimate King kills everything. It will kill, like, it just kills everything. It'll kill invulnerable mobs and also invisible users in creative mode, if you know what I mean. So what I did is, if you go back and watch it, you'll see I had to at least get 2 good takes of that scene. One where Kopi actually activated the Ultimate King. And then I had to redo it with some other entity because in that part I was Kopi, right? And I couldn't have been down the hall. That was me on my account. So then I had to do it again with someone else, with Kopi standing there, right? So what I did is I used my wife's account and I gave her an invisible potion and drank it, and then had her give the diamond block as invisible to Albert, on a backed up save, and then so that the text would flow correctly, right? Because you need to see that, his countdown and all that stuff. So what happened is I gave him the diamond block, and since she was invisible, you guys wouldn't have seen it, wouldn't have seen her when I ran back in there. I was like, oh my goodness, Kopi, what did you do? And then I ran out. Well, for some reason, when Albert came up to the top, and I don't really know how it happened, it pushed her up into the lobby of the lab. And that was her account, standing there invisible with a diamond block in her hand, but I played it off as a floating diamond block. JinxelXJ9 asks, out of all your adventure maps you've played in and out of videos, which would you say is the best? Diversity 2. Hands down, the best adventure map. JazzG asks, how come on Thinks Lab Kopi looks like an untrained wolf sometimes? That's only when I act as her. And the reason for that is, even though she was a tamed wolf, even though what I did to do that is either I use more player models to become a wolf, or morph to become a trained wolf. When you morph, you have to kill that animal, right? That's how you obtain a morph. And if you kill a trained wolf, their tail will go down when you kill it. So that's why you see that. Cody Walton says, I think I'm Kevin in real life. When you make a world download for the Noodle Planet, all I do is make everything either burn or blow up. Cody, trust me, you're not the only one. I guarantee you there are plenty of other Noodlers out there that do the same thing. Derpy Mushrooms asks, do you keep the Thinks Lab map on peaceful most of the time so mobs won't spawn in the lab, or do you have a command in? A little of both. I usually keep it on peaceful so that, not just because so mobs don't spawn in, because I do use the game rule, do mob spawning false. But the other reason is so that it keeps my hunger up, so that I'm not having to eat my noodle soup when I'm running around the lab. Okay, Kopi, just a second. I'm going to feed you. 1 minute, okay? Zeal38 asks, why don't you make a shampoo products? Oh, come on. Kopi's playing with her squeaky duck. Okay. Zeal38 asks, why don't you make a shampoo product so we can all smell like you? Noodle shampoo with a smooth smell of Thinknoodles. Pretty sure that would not sell very well. Derpy Phoenix says, la 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 la, Elmo's World. Oi! I left on Elmo. Don't ask. I really don't want to know anyway. All right, guys, that's it for this episode of Ask Think. Don't forget to leave your questions in the comments below so I can have something to answer next week. Don't forget to pick up those chopsticks and poke that thumbs up button as hard as you can. I'll see you guys again soon. Thanks for watching, and of course, noodle on! Peace.